Really excited. Good day for us. I've been very clear since my arrival that I thought it would take three top 10 classes to overhaul our roster to get it to where it's apples to apples with the elite in the country. And man, today's one of those days where the first emotion you probably feel is relief and excitement is the next one. And there's so many people that played such a critical role in us. Looks like we'll finish with another top 10 class, which is one of the tops in the SEC. Which the difference is when you really compare those, they're so, in my opinion, the differences in those top classes are so small that it becomes now it's your job to develop and create a culture with those, because it's not enough difference where you can say you don't have enough talent. And so we've completed our second recruiting class here, and again, excited that we're going to have another one of the top classes in the country. And again, so many people to thank that really go unnoticed. Our recruiting staff and our personnel staff that does the evaluations, and obviously our coaches that go on the road and are the boots on the ground, and our administration. And one of the things that I think was most critical was the excitement of our fans, even going through a difficult season. Them continuing to support our team and show these recruits and their families that Auburn love and Auburn family is real. It's not fake. It's not pretend. And for them to continue to stick with us. And I know you lose some battles and you win some. That happens every year. But for us our vision here is very clear. And I think today is a sign that people see it. Good players see it. Their families see it. And it's validation in a way that we're on the right track, even though we had a disappointing season. And so we're just thrilled to kind of finish this off and let's get these guys here and continue to change our roster.
Start the front row, Christian, and then Jason.
What can you say about the defensive line haul, especially from Fontrell in his first year? Obviously some questions, what he could do, and he answers the call pretty well.
Yeah, the one thing when you're making that hire is I never questioned whether or not he would relate, because I've been around him enough. He has a really unique story, and I knew it would be relatable. And then his kids played well, and so I think as these top recruits started coming to practice and seeing, man, the way he works with them, the way he interacts with them, and then getting to know him and him being persistent in the recruiting process and convincing people like Malik and Antonio and Jordan and Darian and Jared was a combination of him and Josh, truthfully. But that's a pretty dang good haul for a high school defensive line class, and really excited about all of them. They're a little different. You got the big dude in Malik, and you got the quick twitch guy in Antonio, and you got Jordan Crawford, who's one of the strongest D linemen I've witnessed in a long time. And Darian, I think, is going to be the best pass rusher. That was a big pickup here late. And then Jared, I think his ceiling is I think he's just beginning to see how good he could be.
When you guys got here, you talked about the state of Alabama, and you started cultivating relationships in this class, even back then. How neat is it to see those pay off with that relationship building, and to see that in-state recruiting pay off again this year?
Really big. It's a priority that we win our battles in-state, at least our fair share of them. I'm not naive. I know that you're not going to win every single one of them, but we dang near came close to sweeping the top 10. And I think it speaks, we have a lot of great high school programs here, a lot of great high school coaches, and we have great relationships with them, dating back truthfully. And so and just whether it's Brian Moore or Jeff Kelly or Frank Warren or Mark Freeman, who I go long time back. You know, I mean, those guys that coach those D linemen, or Coach Messi. I mean, those relationships. Some of them go back to at other stops that we've been at, and you know, we developed really unique relationship with the St. Francis guys when I was in Virginia, and so it's you know, I think relationships still do matter when it comes to trusting, and so that was big for us to win our fair share of battles in state.
We're gonna go to second round, Peter, then Bill.
You mentioned Lee Autry, you know, one of the earliest guys to make in this class, been almost 2 years old, been solid the whole time. You know, what does it mean to have a guy like that in this class who's, you know, in state close by, and also someone who's kind of helped recruit some of the other guys in this class?
It's huge for him to remain loyal when everybody's knocking at his door and calling on the phone, and it's really big, and he helped us. He and Jordan and some of the others that have been long-time commitments really helped held this class together when, you know, they hear everything out of the world, some of the stories that, you know, and I love the fact that I'm big on that. I tell them I want to have real, authentic, genuine relationships, and that means we tell each other the truth, and some of the ones we lost, we probably didn't, I guess I didn't have that real genuine relationship because I wasn't being told the whole truth. But most of these guys did, and they would tell me what some of the stories their, you know, the other staffs would use, or you know, Freeze is stepping down and for health reasons, and I mean, I heard some crazy things, you know, and it's just I can't tell these young men how proud I am for them and thankful for them staying loyal and understanding the vision.
Well, the hay's barely in the barn.
Is are y'all watching anything there important?
A little bit.
Is it over yet, or I'm kind of curious.
Not yet.
It's not over yet.
Yeah, like the hay's barely, if not all, just about in the barn. It seems crazy to be talking about this, but portal opens on Monday. I mean, I know it's crazy to be thinking about, but you've got to be looking at your roster and what you've added now. What are the areas that you feel you need to address the most in the portal?
Yeah, we've met every day, obviously, this week on recruiting and on rosters, and we're going to enjoy and celebrate today and let everybody have a break tomorrow and Friday, and we'll reconvene Monday morning first thing, and not that we'll stop. We'll be our text strands. They have everything set up where you know, everybody that needs to be notified about who has declared they're going into the portal will know, so that we can evaluate them immediately and not wait till we get back in. Yeah, we'll try to have a couple of days to recover from the season and from recruiting, but we can't stop evaluating. So everybody's got their iPads, and everybody's going to share their opinions, and so that we'll be ready to roll next week. Because the first thing, you're probably behind some that are communicating, you know, right now with some, and you've got to immediately try to set up trips. Truthfully, I don't want to be here on December the 23rd doing official visits. I really want to be at my mom's. I haven't been able to go to Christmas at my mother's in a while because of ball and stuff, and I hope to do that this year. And but you know, that window to trip these guys starts the 9th, and I think it runs through the 22nd or 23rd. And so, and then it picks back up, and you won't believe this, but January 1st, I mean, we will have visits here. So I'm not crazy about the calendar part, but it is what it is, and we've got to go. And to answer your question, once we get through, which we're still waiting on, there's, you know, another announcement or two being made, and Then we'll reconvene today and go through the roster and declare, look, we've got to get 2 guys here, and we've got to get 2 guys here. And some of it's a guessing game. We've had most of our exit meetings, and we kind of know. That's a big get right there. I don't know if I can say his name yet, so I have to check and see. But we've had most of our exit meetings, and we kind of know or have a reasonable guess, kind of where we are with the roster. And once we add all of these to it before we leave today, we'll kind of have a really good idea. Look, we got to have X amount of offensive linemen to fill the 16 number that you want to carry, and so forth and so on. So we'll tackle that before we leave today.
With Jeffrey and Brian,
I don't know if I need it, but about the position.
it's all.
Deuce Knight. Talk about his recruitment, little ups and downs, and how
Yeah.
big that was for you guys.
Yeah, I think Deuce, one of the things I take pride in is having, real, genuine, honest conversations, and so I don't think Deuce would mind me sharing everything about it. Deuce was kind of my first choice when I first got here. I loved his length. I thought his upside was huge. I know his high school coach real well. We go way back to junior college days. And when he transferred from there to Tennessee, I honestly kind of lost a little interest and thought he was headed in another direction, and I kind of dropped the ball truthfully. And then when he came back to Mississippi, I said, man, I got to shoot my shot. And then, of course, he was committed to Notre Dame, which is a fine program, and knew it wouldn't be the easiest thing, but just kept hammering away along with our quarterback staff and recruiting staff. Everybody really on the offense was involved in it to try to develop relationships with not only he, but obviously his mother and his father and his sister and his brother and uncles and everybody that was involved in his recruiting process. And we just kept on and kept on and kept on, and it was so did others. It wasn't just us, and I think he sees the vision. I think he knows he fits the system. He obviously knows of people I've coached and could have conversations with them about what that's like. And it didn't hurt that his favorite player was Cam Newton either. So I don't know. I think he felt a good feeling about his fit here, his opportunity, his chances. Obviously he's got to compete for it, and like everybody else does. But just glad that we were able to make up the ground. That's a big get. It's probably one of the higher quarterback signees that Auburn's had in a while.
Right.
Coach, how do you feel about the job that Coach Durk and his staff did at linebacker? Elijah Melendez, Jaquelo Falk, Bryce Diaz.
I love them all, man. I think heck, Elijah looks like a senior right now. He's the most rocked up high school linebacker I've ever signed. And Bryce, man, that dude is a competitive guy, man. I mean, competes from a really good high school program, and just loved his competitive spirit and nature every time he was around us. And obviously, we can't say enough about the Fogg family, and they fit us here. They're Auburn men, Auburn people, and JJ's his length and just his demeanor, and I love everything about that family. And the Kendra's become one of my favorite moms, and just thrilled. And I think DJ did a really nice job with the. Now they're gonna have to play. We're really young in that room, but we're counting on them, obviously, in last year's class to carry the bulk of the load.
Go back to the front with Jason and Christian.
You just, sort of the offensive line group, I mean, you have to sign guys up front. It's been something that wasn't done here for a long time, but to add guys like that again in size, physical guys, how important was that in this class?
Huge, because, you know, last year we signed very few, and, you know, I think that's probably the hardest position to know if you're right on. And it's just very difficult because they have the hardest assignment in the world, blocking the best D-lines in the country. And it's not an easy job. And I'm really excited about the 4 guys that we signed, in Ty Buster and Kale and Broderick and Jacoby. Jacoby is a large human being, and we've got to get some bigger dudes and that look like the ones we're playing against. And he fits that mold. And Brody, I think he may be one of the most underrated in the class. I think he's gonna push for playing time early, and really thankful that he stood so strong with us and not being regional really, but he and his family, you know, just, you know, they knew they fit here. And you know, Jonathan and Gretchen are 2 incredible parents, and it's just they fit with us. Kel Ellis is boy, he's a fighter. I mean, you go put his tape on and he's gonna scratch, claw, fight, and knows how to play the game. And thrilled that he reclassified and we could get him in this class, start getting him developed. And Ty Buster, I think, has position flexibility and improved, you know, week after week. So I think we're signed a really solid offensive line class.
Donovan Starr is in coach.
And sounds like we just got I think he's the #1 player in the state of Tennessee, and that was a battle that went late into the hours last night and through the morning, and that's a big win for us. And our defensive staff did a great job, and Coach Hester at that school's, again, I have a deep, long-lasting relationship with him back to the days when we signed Dan Jefferson from there, and I think all of that played a role in it, and thrilled. Honestly, when I'm not the best evaluator probably of DBs, but we all kind of rank them, and we were on some really good ones, and we lost some battles on some, but I had him way up at the top, and I think his position flexibility, and I think Blake would be the other corner that I think his competitive spirit's off the charts, and he's another one that stayed really strong and loyal to us. And then, so we're excited that one's over, that battle's over, and we had his signatures in, and we can celebrate that again tonight. And then, not to mention, I just think we had, arguably, I don't think anyone could argue that we signed 2 of the better safeties in the country, and Antoine Fagans and Eric Winters, and they were a priority from day one. Love both their families. They're from great programs, and 2 great head coaches in those programs, and have been coached well, know how to practice, know how to compete. Their families fit with us, and they add good size to us, which is something we're lacking on the back end. And so I think, you know, defensively, we've covered them all right now. And for the last ones we talk about are those 2 safeties. I would put them. I can't keep up with who all signs what, but I would think that our 2 safeties measure up pretty dang good with most anybody's class.
Christian?
Some more in-state guys, Alvin Henderson, running back, a huge leader for y'all, and then the Smith brothers there, wide receiver. What do those kind of 3 guys bring?
Well, anytime you sign a guy that nationally is one of the top ever in production, that's a pretty good sign. And Alvin has been a joy to recruit, a joy to get to know, and obviously has gone up and down in recruiting and stuff, but has remained really, really solid for us through the stretch of the season where things could have gotten rocky, and you know, he held a lot of things together. And so we're really excited about Al and his future here. I think his balance, he catches the ball well, he's explosive, he finishes runs, he runs behind his pads. He's really a complete back. And then a receiver to add the Smith brothers and Sam Turner to give us additional depth there. And, you know, I love the Smith family, I love their father, Derek. He's one of the hardest working men I've ever known. And he's raised some fine sons. And I think Duke is one of the best athletes in the country. I think he can do a lot of things. And excited to see what we can do with him.
Jeff? I'm sorry, back.
You talked about the importance of stacking classes, and this is the second one. First time in almost a decade that Auburn has had 2 classes ranked in the top 10. How important is that as you continue to close the gap and for another one next year?
It's impossible to do what we want to do and not have these classes. I just think it'd be impossible, and that's the way I feel. I've said I want to build it primarily through the high school ranks. That's had to be rethought a little bit, but not as much as I thought. We were able to hold on to some really, really dang good players, and but to get where we want to get, you have to have similar recruiting classes to the elite. And again, I've never said that you can't win a game here and there, but to be consistent in running off the table and winning 9 and 10 games in this league, you have to have a roster that's made up of some top 10 recruiting classes, I believe. And we're 2 for 2 in that after today, and that was a necessary step for us to get where we want to go.
Christian?
You touched on Deuce earlier, but have you ever had a guy with his type of play, the tools that you get in terms of a lefty with that kind of speed, that kind of size, that kind of arm strength?
You know, I think arguably people would say in my time, probably the most talented quarterback I've had was Chad Kelly. Bo Wallace won a lot of really big football games. I think Chad would probably be known as the most talented. Shea Patterson was really talented. Malik Willis maybe people would say that one more than, they were different, he and Chad. But I think of Deuce in the Malik Willis type world. I think he has the demeanor about himself, like Malik did, that people just gravitate to and they want to follow, and he makes people around him better. And Malik was, he had this humility about him also, even though he carried this great confidence. And I think Deuce has that same type mentality. And I think his ceiling is probably the highest of anybody that I've initially worked with. And you know, he's just so long and rangy and can run, and arm strength, and you know, he's got all of those skill sets. And how quick can he pick up on the college game and the speed of it at this level and everything, we'll see. And he's ready to go to work. I know that he's excited to get here and get to work, and we'll see how he and Walker and Hank handle the spring.
What's the second job?
Coach, you talk about in-state recruiting. I think you signed 8 out of the top 10 guys in Alabama. Just how important was it to just keep those guys at home in-state?
It was priority number 1 was we had to win our share of battles in state, and I was clear with our staff how I saw recruiting and kind of how I saw it geographical when we got here. It starts in this state, and this year was a success for sure. Came really close to even be more successful. We were really in some good battles for all of them, and excited about the 8 to 9 to 10 that we got out of the state of Alabama from great high school football programs. And they're gonna, I think it will matter. I think it matters, and it still matters that you represent your home state at a school that you have dreamed of coming to. And And that's what we're gonna continue to push and try to build a foundation here from inside our state outwards.
A couple more, Christian.
Yeah, you touched on portal earlier, but do you expect quarterback to be a position that y'all will pursue when it opens up on Monday?
You know, I've met with on our exit meetings this week with everyone, and then we're gonna carry 4 quarterbacks on scholarship, you know, every year, and so is every other program. Some may carry 5 and they're 85, I don't know, we choose to carry 4 of the 85 scholarships, and currently we stand at 3, with one of ours going in the portal. We have Walker and we have Hank, and now we have Deuce, so we have an extra spot. So we will be looking for who's the best fit for that extra spot.
Second row, left, Bill.
Hit pretty much most of the positions except tight end.
Trust me, I wasn't leaving here and leaving somebody out.
Yeah, you have.
I was gonna get to that.
A big room, there's some
Yeah.
opportunities there now.
Yeah, I love Hollis and Ryan both. I think are Auburn men through and through. Their families are incredible, and I think they're long. I love length. Hollis can really run and has tremendous ball skills. Ryan's going to be that guy that hopefully grows into that Luke Deal type. So we've got 2 different types there that we have to add to that room. With B. Frazier coming back, which was huge news for us, for him to get a red shirt here. To have his experience coming back there is really big. And it seems like we'll have a spot there in the portal to look at getting some proven experience there to add to these young guys as they develop.
All right, Coach, appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thank you guys.